Welcome to A Course in Miracles. How would you like it if, like, one sentence or something kind of knocked you off your feet? Would that be cool?
That'd be cool.
Okay, well, thank you people who are supposed to be here now.
Yeah.
They always show up. I can count on the people who are supposed to be here right now. They're here. So that means any good thing that could possibly come to me can only come to me through who's in front of me right now. Even though I might think it's Paris Hilton. Because everybody knows Paris Hilton is blessed by God.
Yes,
She's cool.
okay.
This is the most important section in the whole Course in Miracles book to me. And we left off on paragraph 5, but I'm going to start with paragraph 4. On page 215. It's the paragraph 4 in the chapter 12 of the Course in Miracles. All right, I got two versions of the Course in Miracles in front of me. The regular version that you have, and then I have another one that's a translation of the text in the plain language, which has been really fun reading, because I used to do that myself all the time, because the Course uses Christian terminology. And this right here is really, so I'm going to read a paragraph in the book, and then I'm going to read the same paragraph translated into modern language. Okay? And then I'm going to tell you what we're hearing. I want you to think about somebody in your life that asks for food.
Besides me?
Besides you. we always start out with ourselves first, trying to be humble, but without me, I'm the one. But that's a brilliant deduction. That's a brilliant deduction. Okay, so let's say somebody's upset with you, they're going off on you, they're afraid, okay? It says, and the Course says that's a call for love. That they might be cussing you out, but it's really a call for love. And we respond more to the cussing you out than to it being a call for love.
Yeah.
Did everybody see that? You know, somebody call you something really crazy out of your name, you get mad, then you really are focusing on how you want to interpret what they're saying. I'll say it again. When someone says something that makes you mad, you're really focusing on how you want to interpret what they're saying. And so the Course in Miracles says, let me give you some information. No matter what it looks like, no matter what a person's saying to you, it's either love or a call for help. He says that's the interpretation of other people's motivation that will keep from jamming you up, so that you won't get caught in a world of fear. So if you want to get out of a world of fear, you have to reinterpret it. If you want to get out of a fearful situation, he says you have to reinterpret it. Okay? So I don't care what your mama's saying, Earl, what your dad is saying, what your boss saying, what your partner's saying. I don't care what they're saying. They're either saying they're expressing love, he said, or they're expressing a call for love, or a call for help, or a call for healing. They're calling for God. He says they're calling for God. He said that's a way you could look at it. He said, but if you look at it that way, you will lose your fear. And you won't be afraid anymore. So let me give you that paragraph. It says, there's nothing to prevent you from recognizing I'm going to kind of make it really easy. There's nothing to prevent you from recognizing all calls for help as exactly what they are, except your own imagined need to attack. I could see what you're saying to me as a call for love, but you know what? I want to go off on you. I'm mad. It's only this that makes you willing to engage in endless battles with reality. Now, what's a battle with reality? It's when you deny the reality of the need for healing by making it unreal. So the Course says we can fight it as long as we want to, but until we see what everybody's doing as a call for love, he says, then we are making our own healing unreal. So if I really want to be healed, I have to see your insanity as a call for love, and you have to see my insanity as a call for love. You have to see my anger as a call for love. I have to see yours. It says, if you want to stop making your own reality unreal, your own healing unreal. See, we're getting direct answers about how to get out of anything we're going through but they're so different from how we made it up to be that it won't make sense to us. So when I finish the paragraph, I give us a chance to kind of clarify it a minute. But I want to move fast today. I realize that once you realize everybody's just going to hear what they want to hear anyway, you can just go ahead and say what you want to say. So I'm kind of feeling relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like y'all going to really understand what the hell I'm talking about. You be hearing what you're telling yourself about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You just going to be listening to what you're saying about what I'm saying. And you think you're listening to me. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
You go, well, Earl said, no. You said Earl said. That's a different thing. Okay. Well, Earl, did you say everybody in the class ought to jump off the building last week? No, how you got that out of my talk. But sometimes people say stuff to me that's just that way out from what I've said. You know, they say, you remember when you said that? I said, what? I would never say something like that. But what they heard was sounds coming out of my mouth, and then they just interpreted it the way they wanted to, and we call it understanding. Because we're trying to convince ourselves we know what's going on. So how can we convince ourselves we know what's going on unless we judge everything going on around us? How am I going to know what's going on in this moment if I don't judge it? Right? So that's what he's telling me. He says, you're trying to convince yourself you understand things. And the way people who don't really know what the hell is going on try to convince themselves that they understand things is by judging everything around them and then reacting to their judgments as if they're true. So you make your judgment and then you react just like your judgment is the truth. He said you're just trying to convince yourself you know what's going on because you really don't. You're scared. So people who are scared have to use judgment in order to give themselves some sense that they know what's going on so they think they can feel peace. Is this making sense to everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the minute you want to understand, you got to judge. And then after you get through judging, you're going to react to everything as if your judgment is the way it is. Earl thinks he's too much. And you'll react to me as if I think I'm too much, because that was how you saw me. So you're going to react to your own judgments as if they're real. And the Court says that is completely distorted and not fair. That's not too nice if you really think about it. Okay. Then he says, you wouldn't do this except for your unwillingness to accept reality as it is, which you therefore withhold from yourself. So I'm unwilling to accept that everything is just a call for love. That's me being unwilling to accept reality as it is, because he says reality is just love or a call for love. He says, because I'm trying to withhold the love from myself. That blew my mind. Do you know what that means? It means as long as I don't want to be loved myself, then I won't see what you do as a call for love. Because if I saw what you did as a call for love, my love call would be answered. So since I don't think I deserve love, I can't see what you do as a call for love. Because if I saw what you do as a call for love, I'd get the love I don't think I deserve. If I practice the truth, I'm going to get the... See, if I think I don't deserve love and you tell me how to have love, then I feel like my protection is to never do the things that would draw love to me. Because I don't believe I deserve it. If I don't think I deserve it, I don't want to let it in, right? But if I practice the truth, that would let it in. So a person who don't think they deserve truth has a vested interest in never practicing the truth, because they would stop suffering. So he's saying, I'm withholding the healing from myself. I'm withholding it from myself, not by wanting to see what you do as a call for love. The universe can't answer me until I see you as love or a call for love. He didn't say I had to do nothing for you. I'm pretty good at that. We're pretty good at not doing nothing for each other, so we got a plan that doesn't require us to do much, because we don't like to do much for each other.
Right.
You know, we'd be honest about it. I mean, I know you like to think you want to do a lot of stuff for a lot of people, but if we be honest, we don't want to do a whole lot of stuff for nobody. Unless they're special people. So that's the people the only one I care about. I'm much more prone to be concerned about what's going on with my daughter than what's going on with the lady next door. Because my daughter is more special to me. So I need to learn how to see everything I do and everything you do as a call for love. He says if I don't want to see it that way, it's not because they don't deserve it. It's because I don't want to be loved myself. And I'm trying to guarantee that the love don't come to me. I'm trying to keep the love away from me. I'm trying to keep the love away from me. So I won't see you all as upset as a call for love, because if I did, love would rush in on me from every part of the universe. That's what's happening to me right now, and it's got me freaked out. There's so much love in my life right now, I believe I'm going to die in a minute. I'm serious. There's so much love coming at me from every direction right now that I'm numbed out. I've reached my love limit. Bet not one more person love me. Don't y'all like me? Y'all here for the first time, but you can't like me.
Like you anyhow.
They like me anyway, damn.
Too bad.
See, that's how I know I'm headed to the real world. Because in the real world, it would be like that. Even when you didn't think you deserved it, it would come anyway.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So let's hear what it sounds like in the modern translation version. That same paragraph, shall we? Be fun, won't it?
Yeah.
And it's just taking it, it's using the Course in Miracles definitions of the words. Okay, so instead of it's like Holy Spirit, instead of saying, even when I say Holy Spirit, but the Holy Spirit, the Course says the loving right mind within you. So a modern language version might say the loving right mind within you would see it as love and a call for love. See, it's so much easier. This Holy Spirit, religious stuff. Holy Spirit, But when you say loving right mind within me, because the Course in Miracles says what the Holy Spirit is your right mind. It's the part, he says, I love you, he says, it's the part of you that's sane. Isn't that funny?
I want to inform you all that there is a part of your mind that, contrary to popular belief, is sane.
I know it's hard to believe, but you've been learning insane lessons. And that's why you think you're crazy. And that's why you think everything else. I would like to invite, y'all want to have a good class. Don't try to be positive for the hour, just be yourself. Don't try to be positive or spiritual for this hour, just be yourself. So don't even try to listen to what I'm saying from a spiritual perspective. I want you to listen to, I want to invite you to listen to what I'm saying without judging it. Just hear it. Here's the paragraph. There's nothing that prevents you from recognizing all your calls for healing as exactly that, except your own imagined need to attack the reality. It is only attacking reality that makes you willing to engage in endless battles with reality, in which you deny your real need for healing by making the need unreal. You deny your need for something by making the need unreal. You wouldn't make your own needs unreal except for your unwillingness to accept reality as it is by denying it to yourself. I'm trying not to accept the love by denying it to myself. I'm trying not to accept your love, Bonnie, by denying it to myself. How can I deny your love, Bonnie? I can see whatever you do as an attack on me. And I can see whatever you do as something to make me mad instead of understanding that you're just calling for love and healing, no matter what's going on. But if I don't, you know why I don't want to see what you just said to me as a call for love, Bonnie?
Why?
Because if I did, then I would receive love. And you know what, Bonnie? There's a part of me that doesn't think I deserve love. So since there's a part of me that doesn't think I deserve love, it's never going to do what God tells me. It's never going to do what these books tell me. It's going to say, this is too hard.
Yes.
This is too complicated. Or it's going to say, I just don't simply understand what you're saying. Let me analyze this. Bonnie, I don't want to use you to deny love to myself anymore by not seeing what you do as a call for love.
All right. Cool.
Now, if you don't want to answer a call for love, what's going to come up in your mind right now is every reason that justifies your attack and unforgiveness. So you tell me all the stuff I did to hurt you and how I neglected you, and how, for one simple reason, because I want to keep the love from coming to me. I used to think I was trying to remember what you did to me so I wouldn't forgive you because I didn't want to forget what you did to me. I didn't realize it was just me trying to make sure that no love would get to me. Wow. So every time you have a grievance against somebody, what you're really saying, the Course is saying, is that you're saying, I don't want no fun to get to me. I don't want no wealth to get to me. I don't want any abundance to get to me. I don't deserve it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the form of what you're doing, which means you just cursed me out, so I'm reacting to that. But I will certainly not see it as a call for wealth and abundance and love and truth, because if I saw what you were doing as a call for love, my calls for love would be answered, And there's a part of me that doesn't think I deserve it. That's why I criticize myself. Okay, what do y'all think about what we just heard? What was the hardest thing to accept? Thank you.
What if you feel like all you do is give and help others and that you're being taken advantage of and you build resentments through that?
Well, it just meant that in honesty, it wasn't true giving. It was something that you wanted to get out of that in return, and they didn't give it to you, and so now you have a grievance against them. Where the giving should have been its receiving, which meant that you were giving out of a sense of sacrifice to begin with. And that's why we're trying to work toward really giving what we really want to give from our heart, because if we do, then we don't worry about what comes back to us because it felt so good to give it. That was the receiving of it. So I had to learn through the course how to tell the difference between when I was sacrificing and when I was really giving. And so it taught me that when I'm sacrificing, then I feel upset about what I'm getting back. If I'm giving it from my heart, the giving of it is the receiving of it, and it feels good just giving it to you is what is my reward. You know, have you ever given something to somebody and just the look on their face was worth everything you went through?
No.
Okay, that's what I mean. Your giving was the reward. So now, so the feeling that you have right now, you need to reverse it and say, I felt like they're not giving to me, and then say to yourself, I'm not giving to myself enough. It means you aren't giving to yourself enough, that you need to give more to yourself. In other words, it would be, would you mind closing that door? I always attract lawnmowers, trains, bums, helicopters. It's amazing how loud how Noah's just, I can just see Noah sneaking around outside. Let's go find Earl. Hear noise. He's telling the truth. He's going to come in there. Okay. So what I want to tell you is that you're not giving to yourself enough. And as you give to yourself more, it'll look like people are giving back to you more. So it's not about you giving more to anybody else, but doing it from your heart, even though that's what you want to do. Right now, it's about giving it to yourself more, even to the point that you may appear to be selfish to those around you. One of the ways you can tell when you're really giving to yourself correctly is you'll be called selfish by people. When people are calling you selfish, it just simply means you're finally putting yourself first so that you have something to give. So the more people call you selfish, the more true you're being to yourself, probably. So don't fall for that. And when you're being unselfish, it's usually when you are being a martyr and you're sacrificing. Wow.
You feel better.
Isn't there a part too? I was thinking that a lot of times I give through guilt because I feel that that's what I'm supposed to do. And by being honest with myself is, if I don't want to give, I shouldn't give.
That's right.
And then that'll free me up to be able to give honestly.
And be okay about sometimes you're going to still give out of sacrifice and guilt. Some things you just can't do without feeling guilty because you haven't learned how to play that big yet. So start with the little stuff, like, you know, somebody invite me to the movie, I'm going to only really go to a movie I really want to see. You start with the little stuff and work up to the big stuff. Just every time you get a chance that you really got a choice and you can pull it off, do what you want to do. And watch what happens. Watch what happens, because the outer world is a reflection of how you treat yourself. So people who give to you come after you giving to you. Every time, I'm telling you, trust me on this, it's the truth. Everybody's trying to get you in touch with how you're treating yourself. And they're a perfect witness to how you're treating yourself. So if you would take your mind off of them and say, "Oh, I think you hate me. I think I hate me. I think I hate you," would be the correct way to look at it. I think you are cruel to me. Oh, I'm cruel to myself, and I think I'm cruel to you. Just try it. You don't have anything to lose. You can always look at it the way you've always looked at it, that you've been doing all your life. So nobody's trying to take that away from you. But it just might be fun sometimes, just even if you don't believe it, just say it differently. It will freak you out. Because sometimes we think belief is important, and belief is not important to some levels of consciousness. Some levels of consciousness, the belief that you need to believe is actually a hindrance. because you're spending too much time trying to make yourself believe rather than hearing the answer.
How do you let go of whatever it is, whatever grievance you have against yourself to where when you don't even know what it is so that you can receive?
But first of all, by recognizing that your grievances is a block to your miracles. It's like if you were to recognize that your grievances, and all that simply means is you didn't act out some script that you thought you should be acting out by now for yourself. A grievance is nothing but anger directed towards yourself. And the Course says an agreement, here's a really deep definition of a grievance from the Course in Miracles. It says a grievance is simply your wishing that it was different in order for you to be happy. That a grievance is me saying if this were different, I'd be happy. He says that is what a grievance is. I'm mad at you because, see, I got a grievance against them because they are not showing me, giving back to me the way I gave to them. So a grievance is if this were different, I would be saved. If this were different, I would be happy. And that's all it is. Doesn't mean you're bad. There's no big deal. Don't beat yourself up. Don't have nothing to do with that. It's just an error we make and it needs to be corrected so we'll stop suffering. Classes like this tend not to attract a lot of people because it requires too much accepting responsibility for what you're going through and accepting your innocence and letting go of the idea of guilt and sin. That's not going to be a real popular idea in the world. A world that people manipulate each other through guilt and anger. And then I'm sitting up here saying to you that their guilt and anger is a call for help. You call it a call for help, and so every time you are guilty and angry, somebody helps you. And because somebody helps you, you begin to feel like you're lovable and you deserve it. And then you change your mind and your whole world changes and you're just surrounded by people who help each other. And they be coming from everywhere. And you be like, wow, look how all these people showed up who helped me. Well, you helped them. You were a helper first. You were willing to see it as a call for help, change your vibration. Your vibration then attracts people that's on that new level of consciousness. You cannot attract people on a level of consciousness you are not on.
That's so cool.
But you can use your sadness to take you to happiness. You can do that by seeing your sadness as a call for love and help and healing. I'm sad today. That's my call for God. That's my prayer. There's not a person in this room that's not capable of doing what I'm saying right now. That's what I love about teaching this. It's always something you can do right now. So, let me go to the next paragraph. Because since we don't have to believe it. Okay? It'd be different if we had to believe it. Then we have to figure it all out. But since we don't have to believe it. Did that make so much sense, some of it, that it didn't make no sense?
Yes.
Isn't it something that when you hear stuff that's sane, how your mind kind of like, you feel like some goop gonna come out your ears or something? So you kind of like feel your brain melting? Because it can't be that simple. It cannot be that simple. Okay, it says, I love this. Don't forget this. It says, it's surely good advice to tell you not to judge what you don't understand. Don't judge what you don't understand. Don't judge what you don't understand. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness, for the truth to him has become what he wants it to be. If you're unwilling to perceive an appeal for help as an appeal for help, it's because you're unwilling to give help and receive help. I love it. You're unwilling to perceive an appeal for help for what it is because you are unwilling to give help and to receive it. I don't want to give help. I don't want to receive help, so I won't see your call for help. I'm unwilling to give help. I'm unwilling to receive help, so I won't see somebody else's call for help. To fail to recognize a call for help is to refuse help. So if you don't want to see it as a call for help, you're refusing help. Would you maintain that you don't need it? Would you maintain that you don't need help? No, I won't maintain I don't need help. Holy Spirit, God, the universe, whatever word you would like to be called by, I need your help. I need your help. I don't love myself enough. I love myself more than I used to, but I don't love myself enough. I need help. See, whenever the book says something, I do it right then. If it says, see, recognize your need for help, then I just go ahead and write, help. Right then. Okay, then what's the point of studying a spiritual path that you're not going to follow? So when my spiritual path tells me to do something, I just go ahead and do it because I've already decided it's my spiritual path. So what am I fighting it for anymore? You know what I mean? I watch people who've been studying the Course for years fighting like they just picked up the book yesterday. And I'm like going, why in the world would you be following a spiritual path that all you do is fight after you've decided you want to follow it? It's like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Chris? It's like do all your due diligence beforehand. But then once you decide this is my path, go ahead and do it. So he just told me, I love it. He said, now I try to make it real. So let me make it real. Phyllis, if I fail to recognize your call for help, then it's me refusing to be helped. Then it told me, would I maintain that I don't need it? No, I will not maintain that I don't need help. Okay. He says, yeah, that's what I'm maintaining when I don't see your call for help. When I don't see your call for help, I'm saying I don't need help. In other words, if you're afraid and stressful and going through some horrible stuff, and I don't see that as you needing help, then when I go through that kind of stuff, my world won't see it as me needing help, and so it doesn't help me. So every person is giving me another opportunity to have my calls for help answered when I have some.
Yeah. That's so simple.
And I'm in a world where I got 1,000 opportunities to do that every day. Because every day I always see somebody doing something other than love. I don't know about you, but every day I see somebody doing or hear about something other than love. So I got 1,000, the 5:30 news alone is giving me a chance to get out of here. The 5:30 news is giving me a chance to get out of fear because they keep bringing up all the stuff that I can see as a call for love, and I don't realize what the news is doing is giving me a chance to raise my level of consciousness to a point that I won't even be in a world where that kind of stuff is happening.
Yeah.
So the news is good. Every bomb they tell you about, every person that was blown up, it's an opportunity for you to see things differently.
And I don't have to answer the call to get the help back.
No.
I just have to see it.
Right. The course is so beautiful that it says, first of all, you don't know what to do for nobody. So if you could just start seeing it as a call for God, if you could just start seeing it, that you've made a leap in consciousness beyond your wildest dream.
Wow.
If we could just go, this crazy stuff I see going on in the world is a call for love, a call for God, a call for help, a call for, this is just a big call for healing. This is just one big old wound that's saying, put something on me to heal me called the earth. He says, if you were to see the earth like that, then when you are crazy, you are afraid, and you know it's going to happen, you're depressed, or you're angry, something didn't go the way you thought it should go, you all pissed off about something. He says at that point the universe would be compassionate toward you, and you would have love come to you instead of somebody judging you and criticizing you for what you're feeling like right now. Because you saw other people like that, you achieve a level of consciousness that allows you to receive that from other people. And all you have to do at first is just see it that way. But he also told us that you're not going to do it, Purdy, as long as you want to deny love to yourself. So as long as you don't want to be loved, you ain't going to practice a damn thing. I'm telling you, boy, you ain't going to do it. Because you know if you do it, the love you think you don't deserve is going to show up. And how do you know you don't think you deserve it? Because you're not praising yourself all the time. You're not acknowledging yourself all the time. You're sad. You're unhappy. You don't feel like things are the way you want it to be. That's the sure sign that you're a person that's not loving yourself. So therefore, you're going to refuse to do anything that'll help yourself. Because you get the love. You get the help you don't think you deserve. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
When you hear it? But check in your heart and you know it's true. Get out of your head and get in your heart and you know what I just said is true. That's exactly what people do who don't love themselves. That's what they do. They can't respond to love. A nice person show up, they're going to attack them. When you fall in love with a person who doesn't love themselves, they attack you for your love and they become suspicious of your love. They think you're always trying to fool them some kind of way. Because they can imagine somebody caring about them.
Yeah.
You know, my self-image is so low, I think anybody that would love me is crazy. So I'm suspicious of you just by virtue of the fact you asked for my phone number. You must not have no taste.
No.
You know what I mean? Something's wrong with you. I never want to be the member of a club that would have me in it. They can't have high standards. That's where if a person doesn't love themselves, that's how they look at themselves. I'm not smart, I'm not beautiful, I'm not intelligent, I'm not prosperous, I'm not interesting, I don't turn people on. You know, it's like that person right there, and they're convinced that that's the way they are. If you give them love, they think you're the devil. They think you're the biggest. It's like, when I started to really be conscious of the way I looked and felt about women was when women became the most afraid of me. When I became the most loving, the most conscious, that's when I would draw the most suspicion out of women who thought they loved me. When I really was not that way, because I was ignorant of the truth, I never had any woman doubting me. Because I was giving them what they thought they deserved. Mistreatment, unavailability, inconsiderateness, not listening, controlling, demanding. Oh, no suspicion. I'm a normal guy. But you come up, because when a woman describes her ideal man, she always describes another woman. And when a man describes his ideal woman, he always describing another man. We be talking about the quality, free, uninhibited, sexual, passionate, spontaneous, at the drop of a hat. See, he be describing the man, saying he wished it was his woman was like that. We're hilarious, but we forget to laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's like it gets serious around here. I lived my life for the longest time from the premise that I was broke and I needed fixing. And so everywhere I went and everything I did was about fixing something that's not right about me so I can become a better person. Mm-hmm. What if the premise was I'm completely whole and I'm just trying to let go of everything that keeps me from knowing it? Which one of those premises sound the coolest?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm already okay. I got some stuff in my mind that keeps me from knowing it. And I need to get rid of that. That's what the Course in Miracles is about. So I need to remember, for me today, I love this last line. He says, deny him your help and you will not recognize God's answer to you. Only by answering his appeal can you be helped. Okay, so only by answering Phyllis's call for help can I be helped. Now remember, the answering of it is the seeing of it as a call for help. Then you can ask the Holy Spirit what to do. It may be something for you to do in that situation physically for that person. But you can tell if it is by two things. First of all, if you're really being used by Spirit, you don't know it.
Okay. Well.
Consciously selected miracles are the worst people give. It's when a person sits up, thinks they know what's best for somebody else and tries to do it. That's the ego. When you're truly helping somebody, you usually don't even know it. The people you've helped the most, you never even knew you helped them. That's funny. But you've helped so many people, you would be shocked. Because when Spirit uses you, Spirit doesn't want you getting in the way by knowing about it. Because the minute you know about it, then he says, then y'all going to try to figure out what to do. So if you're really being used well, it's probably beyond your awareness so it can get done. I used to think I was being insulted when I first read the Course. I think I just been insulted by Jesus. What's the answer to all your problems? You? What's standing in my way? You? What's keeping me from having the kind of relationship I want? You? What's keeping me from having a career I want? You? It's so consistent in an answer. You doing it to yourself. What? You doing it to yourself, no matter what you say, no matter what you tell me, no matter how many angles you come in with it, I'm going to come back with you with just one answer. You're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to yourself. You're doing how you feel right now, you're doing it to yourself. How you feel right now, you're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to yourself. I'm giving you the same answer over and over and over again. You're doing it, I know it makes you mad. I know you don't like it. I know it brings out a lot of resistance. I know you hate it. I know it makes you mad. No, but that doesn't change the answer. You're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to yourself. Then at one point you feel all those feelings and after that you go, I'm doing it to myself, I need to stop. How do I stop? By the attraction of the thing beyond what you've been doing. Like for instance, if you haven't been getting the kind of response you want from giving too much, then the thing to do now is to give to yourself more and make giving to yourself such a pleasurable thing that it will take you past that point that you sacrifice yourself for people who seem not to appreciate what you give. Now here's the cool part though. The universe gives it back to you in the form you need it the most when you need it. So you might get it back through something else altogether that has nothing to do with them, but it's when you really need it the most. Like for instance, if I give you some chicken because you're hungry, that might come back to me through me having a flat tire one night and somebody pulling over and helping me out. So it always comes back to you, but it doesn't always come back in the form you gave it in or through the people you gave it to. And so if a person remembers that, it helps release that resentment that they feel about not receiving for what they've given. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So every time you've given, you've received, and it always comes back to you the way you need it, which I'd rather have it that way, frankly. I always rather have the form of my giving come back to me the way I need it. Because I might not need that piece of chicken, but I might need somebody to help me out because my car broke down on the highway. I don't want them to drive up and just give me a piece of chicken and drive out. Unless it's KFC. Original. And they might be able to do that. And I eat some chicken and wait for the next person. And read some Course in Miracles. Maybe I wouldn't be sitting out there if I had been reading all along, you know what I'm saying? Because most of us don't really get serious about our spiritual growth until we have a crisis of some sort.
Yeah.
And then when everything sucks. That's why I know there's going to be a lot of people coming to my class through 2012. Because the world is so crazy and people becoming afraid, they might even be so desperate they'll listen to me.
Do it to yourself, Earl. Do it to yourself.
Thank God. That law works good if it's something you want to do to yourself. You'd be glad you can do it to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The next time you lonely for a date, take yourself out to the movie.
Cool.
You guaranteed to get lucky with yourself. Next paragraph. Let's do another one. There's somebody that's got a burner they just need to say.
Well,
Yes.
I did have some, because when you were saying, that you don't love yourself enough because you don't praise yourself enough, I had resistance to that because in my mind, my old programming tells me, well, that's arrogant.
That's right.
That's arrogance.
That's right.
To praise yourself all the time.
Right.
And so is that my way of blocking
Absolutely.
that love?
Absolutely. And if you think it's arrogant for you to praise yourself, then it's arrogant for you to praise others, and it's arrogant for others to praise you. And then you wonder why you don't get the praise you think you like. Well, you think it's arrogant to receive praise, right? So you don't receive any. And then you're mad, but you don't know you're just getting a reflection of your own belief about acknowledgement. You feel like it's not okay to acknowledge yourself, and you're in a world that reflects that back to you by not acknowledging you. But they should acknowledge me because look what I've done. But you haven't acknowledged yourself first. It's like, that's great that you gave. That's great that you gave. For whatever reason, acknowledge that. Then the acknowledgement will come, or it won't matter. And not mattering is even better. I'm trying to go to a not matter reality. It's okay if you like me today, and it's okay if you don't. That's when like if you walked out of here and nobody wanted to ever come back, which happens most of the time. Anybody been around here where I know it? It's not about how can I get you back, it's about can I make it okay if you don't come back. And can I look forward to the next people that will come after you, because surely someone would. Also knowing that you're where you need to be and I'm where I need to be, so it's no grievance about you not being here. Because I know that the people that I need the most are going to be the one in front of my face, even if it's not a close relative or a lover. See, when you wake up, you realize that the only people that's ever in your life in any given moment are the ones who can bless you the most, and that's all. And all the people that you're thinking about that's not there, that you wish were there, they're a distraction to keep you from receiving your blessing right now because you don't think you deserve it. And when you don't think you deserve your blessing, you'll stay in the past and the future where you know you can't receive it. So you're always thinking about what's going to happen later, or you think about what happened in the past because you're afraid to receive your blessing right now. And I went, dang. But I know it's true though, because you know, feel it in your gut. You know it's the truth. You know it's the truth. Or the ego says something like, well, it's a car. Because that's something you may or may not have right now. Your ego is going to always tell you happiness is based on something you can't have right this moment. So whenever you're giving yourself false guidance about your happiness, you'll be telling yourself that you couldn't be happy now. That's how you know you're giving yourself false guidance about your own happiness. You'll be saying stuff like, I'll be happy after I graduate. I'll be happy after I get that person. I'll be happy after I make that money. I'll be happy after I get my degree. You know, when you're not ready to be happy yet, you're going to always make it based on something you can't have right now. But you'll tell yourself it's because you're a long-range planner.
How do you praise yourself when you have expectations of doing that at the minimum?
Well, you have to let go of your judgments about how you should be that's keeping you from praising yourself. See, the only reason why you're not praising yourself right now is because of something you're telling yourself that you have learned about yourself. So at first you tell yourself that you're, like the Court says, you're the light of the world. He says you say it, but you don't believe it at first. So the first step is to say stuff to yourself that you don't believe yet. So you would say, I am innocent, I am spirit, I am the Holy Son of God, I am love. All the stuff that the book is saying, he says in the very beginning, the Court says you don't have to believe it. The reason why it tells you that the instructions are you don't have to believe it, because if you think you have to believe it, you won't say it. And it's the saying of it that shows you have a willingness to change your mind. And the only thing the universe is looking for, spirit as you want to call it, is some symbolic gesture on our part to show we're willing to be helped.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is not, I don't have to believe I'm the most lovable thing in the world, but my willingness to call myself that is symbolic of my willingness to change my mind, which means I got a little bit of willingness, which is all that is required of us. It's just a little bit of willingness. We hear it over and over again. Just need a little bit, but I can do a little bit. Whole lot I have a problem with, but I can pull some little bit of love out on you and some little bit of kindness. I can give y'all a little bit of patience. I'm a little bit master. I'm a little bit of a master. I can do a little bit. So this book says, well, I got you trapped, Purdy. How? I'm going to only ask for a little bit. How can I claim I can't do a little bit? That's what I do all the time. Then he says I don't have to believe it. That traps me again. That goes to my other excuse. Can you tell yourself something you don't believe? Yeah. But here's the trick. You can't keep repeating something to yourself over and over again and don't begin to believe it. Would you pass it from? So at first you tell yourself stuff you don't believe, like I am innocent, I deserve love. And since you know you don't believe it yet, listen now. Well, you're not going to listen. It don't make a difference. Listen or don't listen. I don't care. I don't care how to listen or don't listen. I don't care. Okay, now, I'm saying what I need to hear. Okay. All right. So listen or don't listen is not important whether or not you believe it. What's important is to remember that the universe is looking for symbolic gestures to show you are willing to be helped. A symbolic gesture to show that you're willing to be helped so that you can be helped is seeing what other people do as a call for love, a call for help, a call for healing, even if you don't believe it and you want to beat their butts because you're mad. So I can be mad at you and still call what you're doing a call for love and be angry as heck. I can sit up here and say, Phyllis, that friggin' call for love. Look at the power I just put behind that idea. See what I'm saying? She would rather me say, Phyllis, that friggin' call for love. Because now I just requested love for her and I requested love for myself. But I'm not going to see what she is doing as a call for love as long as I don't want people to love me. So I don't get into relationships with dysfunctional people expecting them to treat me right. If I enter a relationship with somebody that I know does not love themselves, I do not look for honesty or consistency. Because they can't be that way yet. Because they don't love themselves. And when they don't love themselves, they do things to make people not love them. So they're going to try to do something to make you angry, upset you, or disappoint you, so that you will not give them the love they don't think they deserve. And that's why we get frustrated in our relationships. We keep trying to give love to somebody who doesn't want it yet. Because we don't want it yet. So that's why we give it to somebody who doesn't want it yet, because we're the somebody who doesn't want it yet. And that explains all your bum relationships. And mine too. See, that's too honest. That's too straight up. It's got to be 12 people for that. And that's perfect. Because it'll make me be even freer and freer and freer and freer in my communication, the more intimate the gathering is. Even though it is on the internet, which is also intimate. Any burners for anybody got? Any thoughts? Any feelings? Any resistance? Any, how can I look at it?
Any resistance?
Yeah. Oh, I can, there's no resistance, I can tell.
Can I bring up something that's a little bit off the topic, but
Everything.
or would you rather me not?
2 minutes off topic.
Okay.
Okay.
I find that a lot of working in Course in Miracles really helps me.
Mm-hmm.
But last week, whenever I had a stomach bug.
The stomach bug.
And
Okay.
I felt absolutely horrible.
Okay.
And no matter what I could do, since I felt like throwing up the whole day, asking the Holy Spirit to see something differently didn't feel like it was helping at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when I get sick or in pain, I get very, very in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the fear comes in, the fear of like what happens if I stay like this, isolation,
Mm-hmm.
loneliness,
Mm-hmm.
that you're all by yourself, and all that stuff starts to come up.
Mm-hmm.
But the struggle is being able to ask and be able to see things differently. when I'm
Right.
in that spot.
Right. So you were really exercising that little bit of willingness that you were being asked for, and no matter how much you hurt, wouldn't it be interesting to consider the fact that you may have hurt more had you not done that? That as uncomfortable as it was, it's a possibility it was less painful than it could have been had you not shown some willingness.
Hard for me to see.
Exactly. So just like we don't know how many accidents we didn't have on the way over here. Same thing. It's the same premise. But let me tell you the Course in Miracles definition of sickness and pain of any form. This is not going to make much sense, but it's so true that you're going to probably say you don't understand what I just said. So let me test you. Okay. You are love. You are spiritual beings. You are more than your physical body. And who doesn't understand that statement? I didn't say you had to agree with it. Was there anybody who did not understand that statement? That you have to believe it. It says you are not your physical body. That you are a spirit expressing through a physical body. Can everybody hang with that for a minute? Okay. So, if you are trying to deny that, if you've forgotten that you are joined with your Creator, if you've forgotten that you are joined with everybody else, then the part of you that believes it's separate uses pleasure and pain to convince you that you are just your physical body. So there's a part of your mind that's trying to convince you that you are nothing but a human being with a temporary life, trying to make it. Does everybody have a part of their mind that tries to convince them of that? Look at me, respond to me. Let me know. Does some of y'all have a part? Okay. Yes. That part of your mind was trying to convince you that you were just your body through the pain you were going through. And that was the purpose of the pain that you were going through. You made some kind of a realization, some kind of an awakening that threatened the part of you that thinks you're just a limited human being. The part of you that believes you're just a limited human being is using pain or pleasure to make you identify with only being your body. And that's the cause of all illness. And then it takes all the forms we describe in the world. Disease, heart trouble, tumors, whatever we come up with. And not just physical body. It of course says your body is your perception that you live in. So your body is more than just the physical body. It's the perception that you live in. So any form of lack of peace from a Course in Miracles perspective is sickness. It's not just a physical illness. It's any time you are feeling any lack of peace, you're sick. And he says that is you trying to convince yourself that you are not the lovable, powerful, free, incredible being that you are. And sometimes we enlist other people to help us feel bad about ourselves, since we already do, and we'll call them our lovers. Our mates, our attractions, and our partners. In other words, I'm not making myself feel bad enough by myself. I need some help. And then when you wake up, you just the opposite. Oh, I want relationships, but now I want my relationships to be a reflection of the love that I think I deserve and the love I think they deserve. So we'll be in a relationship with each other, constantly seeing and reminding each other the things about each other that's perfect, whole, beautiful, and cool. That's the real purpose of a relationship, other than what guilty people use it for, which is a form of punishment on themselves. By constantly getting into different relationships where they feel abused and misused. That's me trying to spank myself through you. How do I get out of that? I start to see the stuff that I don't like about you as a call for help and love. So my call can be answered. I love myself more and therefore see you in a loving way. And every one of us, especially you, Earl, are capable of doing this today. There was one single thing in this class that we couldn't do today if we wanted to, because we don't have to believe it. And I always ask myself, well, what is it in me that doesn't want to do it? What is it in me that's going unconscious? What is it in me that doesn't hear this? It's the part of you that wants you to stay the way you already are. That's all. Thank you for listening to this. Give it to yourself, even if you don't want to give it to me. Give it to yourself. Give it to yourself. But even sure, people who are supposed to be here now. Thank you, people who are supposed to be here now. I appreciate y'all so much, but you showed up right on time. You truly did. Because this is what I do in the world to make it. And so I don't want to think numbers. Because I don't want to believe people are taking care of me. I want to believe that people are channels, and I'm grateful. But I do not want to believe that whether or not I be taken care of is dependent on how many people come to my class and how much I please them, entertain them, excite them, make them want to come. I want to have more people like some of you who come because you want the truth as much as I do. And the truth itself is satisfying you. You don't need to be entertained. You don't need to be thrilled. Nobody needs to shake you and wake you up and make you get your attention. Because you're there because you're so thankful that you're not alone. And you're glad to join with somebody who's saying something that you know you want to believe yourself. That's who I'm asking to show up in ways beyond my wildest imagination. People like some of you. I said some of you because it's true. Some of you, some of it's not. Just like I got some things and some things I'm not. So it's not a judgment or condemnation. It's just a fact of life. Start asking for what you want in ways beyond your wildest imagination to show up through the Holy Spirit. I always say in ways beyond my wildest imagination so that the help can come to you in ways you didn't think of. You want help to get to you the quickest way, and that's not necessarily through your understanding. Your understanding slows down your help. Your thinking you need to understand slows down the love. Thinking you need to understand slows down the life you want to. Thinking you need to know how it's going to happen is slowing things down. You don't have to know anything for things to turn out great.
Yay! Woo! Mercy.
That's right. I want people like you.
Yeah.
And you. 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 And you.
Yeah.
You are more important to me than my children, my relatives, everybody who's not here. You're more important to me in this moment than everybody who's not here. Because you are the people in my life now.
Right now.
So you've got to be the most important people. Out of all the people on earth, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Did you think about that? Out of all the places we could be and all the people we could be with in the whole world, in this moment, we're with each other. We think this is a freaking accident?
Wow, 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 wow.
And I'm glad it's you. Most of you, I don't know enough about you to even not like you. So this is pure love right here, buddy. There's no script you didn't act out. There's no call for love you could have that I wouldn't call it a call for love. You're not asking for me to sacrifice anything. You're not mad at me because I didn't do one thing or another. You're going to leave here today and give me so much freedom, you're not going to give a damn what I'm doing. You probably won't even think of it. If that ain't love, it's the people who think they care that give me the hardest time. Y'all don't care. You're so sweet, I'm so touched.
You're welcome.
Can you not care more?
Certainly.
I'm trying.
Good. That means you won't interfere with my happiness.
Yeah.
You won't interfere with my happiness. So, let's take a breath. We're going to leave out here. Just hold on. See it all as love or a call for love so that love can answer you. See it all as a call for love, a call for help, a call for healing so that love can answer your call for help. The universe can respond to your call for help because giving and receiving are the same.
Yeah.
Giving and receiving are the same. 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 Thanks for coming, Holy Spirits. Love you. May the course be with you. I'll see you. I promise you, I will see you when I see you. Hugs are available.